So you
Yeah. We binge watched the whole 2 seasons. Newbie and I did.
Okay. What
And
did you think?
I mean, I think it's entertaining. I just think it's very cosmetic. There's no real depth into like what's it like to run a real club, which
Well,
you
it's
get
not-
from
It's not a
what you get from
documentary.
Cuervos, though. If you watch Cuervos, you get to see the whole drama, what it's like to run a club, how to lose a club, all the other different things, all the meetings you have to go to.
It's
I don't
it's
think that's what they were
entertaining.
going for, though.
it's a comedy about an
So is
American football
Cuervos.
player.
Cuervos is an even bigger comedy.
I think you're coming
Your
into this with
benchmark's
the
a bit
wrong
off, I think.
expectations.
No, like if you watch Cuervos, like Ted Lasso is the Ballad of Hugo Sanchez. That's the type of like
But
level.
I
of
feel
that,
like
so.
that's like being like, oh yeah, I watched Star Wars. You know, it didn't really go into the whole. Hello, comrades, and welcome to the 55-1 podcast. I am Wes Burdine. I'm joined by Corey Shrepo.
Repo. It's
I started
French.
moving ahead to
Shrapel.
Rodrigo and put Shrepo. Rodrigo Sanchez Devaria and Mark Fangmeyer.
I can't be Fango.
Yeah, Fango.
Wait,
yeah,
you want to be
sorry.
Fango?
Fango sounds like a
We'll make you Marco.
Marco. Yeah.
Hello. It's the end of the season, but oh wait, it's not over yet.
There's more.
We're gonna.
It's
talk
like a false
about
ending. It's like Return of the King.
United's epic draw, just a total shit show in LA, but the good kind. The good kind, because we're riding on vibes. Adrian Heath is riding on vibes. This whole team riding on vibes. No tactics, just vibes. And that's how we're going into the postseason. That's how I'm going into this podcast. Before we do that, let's hit the around the horn, some good, the bad, and the weird. The good was Pablo Maurer and Matt Pence for The Athletic published a fantastic article on MLS's back tournament. It covered a lot of really great ground, talking about what the league did and did not do. Ryan Hollingsworth for Dallas talking about how, like, you know, these 17-year-old kids get COVID and then they're basically just left in a hotel room for 24 hours and just like sweating through their sheets, and like, it was really good. Everyone should read it. But the best part is this section, which I will just I'll just read. One team above all, though, earned a reputation at the tournament for being jovial bunch, Minnesota United. Amongst the coaching staff, karaoke became a nightly ritual, with head coach Adrian Heath being amongst the most prolific. Those in attendance say Heath tended to skew toward the classics, Billy Joel, the Beatles, Elton John. Most frequently performed, though, was The Killers' Human, which one Minnesota staffer said, "We must have played 500 fucking times." One does not listen to, let alone perform such a song without the free flow of alcohol. The club's tab at the local liquor store has become the stuff of legend. Dozens of bottles of gin, hundreds of cases of White Claw, and some 40 boxes of wine. The good vibes must have fueled the loons, despite, quote, seeing the sun come up on more than one occasion. Minnesota United was full of surprises in the tournament, making a run that ended with a semifinal loss to Orlando City. Riding the vibes, it totally, absolutely makes that tournament in Minnesota make so much sense now.
It is single-handedly the most excited I've been for this team this year. Reading that, I just like to believe that Ozzy was just chugging the White Claw.
Oh, I mean, every single one of them. I mean, the 40 boxes of wine was just, that's all Adrian. Everyone else was drinking something else.
Adrian Heath plays Slap the Bag.
I mean, it's an amazing thing. Part of it is actually surprising that, I mean, the entire concept of Wonderwall came out of precisely riding the vibes, right? 10 years ago, the team that nobody wanted got into the playoffs barely. by beating Montreal, and then won based on like Wonderwall and these things that they did. And obviously, like, yes, the team does not want to be putting out on social 5:30 a.m. Drunken White Claw fest, but finding ways to tell a story about the team and making people like them, I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like it's an opportunity missed. Like certainly someone could have just helped bring, when we were all so isolated at home, close that distance with it. But the team just has never, they don't make their players available. They don't, yeah. Anyway, it's a bummer, but yes, it's the most I've liked them in a long time.
I would like to know what Totin Amarilla's reaction would be to having his first White Claw. That would be like something I'd love to be able to get down in paper.
Just Mark McGrath's White Claw review.
I mean, people like it. I don't have a taste for it, so yeah.
Let's
More
hit the
like a
bad.
Highland Park in Prairie type of thing. So
Let's hit the bad. The decision day actually was good overall. Just the pure craziness of it. They've been doing it the last few years, and I love it. At the end, one of the games that we were watching was SKC versus Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake won this game, 1-0, with some controversy. Who wants to give me the controversy?
There's a handball that got missed, and SKC folks got mad.
Very mad.
don't say.
And then Pro came out and made a statement saying, "Oops, sorry, we got it wrong." So, am I correct? So, this helped RSL kick LA Galaxy out of the playoffs.
Correct.
I thought the Galaxy would be out regardless, as if all RSL had to do was score, and then we're out. I think.
Yeah, but SKC would have had a PK off of that. So it was 0-0 at the time. If the call had been called correctly, SKC would have gotten a PK and been up most likely been up 1-0 going into about like the last 10 minutes of the match.
Unless they did stutter step.
But if RSL had to do was score, that goal wouldn't have mattered, right?
Well, then RSL would need to score 2 goals because they needed to win.
They needed to win. Okay, I thought it just needed to score.
Yeah,
That's what I kept hearing.
basically both Minnesota United and LA Galaxy needed LAFC and RSL to drop points, period. And that guaranteed that both of them would go through. But with RSL winning, Minnesota getting a draw, that basically meant that, LA Galaxy is out of the playoffs. They came in 8th. And we squeaked through in 5th somehow.
I was happy to watch Colin Warner score a goal, his only goal of the season.
Yeah.
Loon's legend. And so, yeah, it was bad. Get it right next time. But the good part was getting to watch all the sad Kansas City fans. The weird. This just came out.
What are they sad about? They're like what, 3rd place and get a home playoff? I don't get that.
They would have been first and had a bye.
That doesn't matter. Like you got a home game. It's like if you would have been Galaxy, right, and you're out, like I get that, then you'd be really mad. But
Because
you don't lose to Austin FC. You don't lose to Austin FC.
Because
3-0.
after the previous 2 weeks where they did not receive straight red cards when they should have, they got mad that the refs got something wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the weird is Atlanta United put out a video today with Waka Flocka, well-known Fozzie Bear impersonator, doing a rap song with the president of the company, Darren Ailes. And in it, I mean, I guess anyone have a good description for it? It's Darren Ailes just hanging out while Waka Flocka.
He's the most awkward hype man I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm really bummed that it wasn't. I wanted like a Natalie Portman SNL rap that he would just break out and just be like, laying into Inter Miami or no Orlando. I guess they hate.
When you said Fozzie Bear impersonator, it got me wondering if like Waka Flocka is going back to Pablo Maurer's topic about the furry subculture in Major League Soccer supporter groups. Is there a link there?
Oh,
I mean, this is a theory. I mean, I'm straw grasping right now, but is Waka Flocka a Muppet furry for Atlanta United supporter group? Listen, nobody has disproved it.
Yep.
I mean,
the big
it
question.
sounds
Corey
very
Trepper.
reasonable to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's let's hit this last. We'll go back to a good and bad, which is Chris Wondolowski retiring from MLS, from soccer. Absolute legend, and a fantastic story of a guy who like just kept on pushing and was playing in the reserve league and just was nobody, and then became MLS legend.
171 goals.
Yeah, no, I mean, and he scored in his last game too. I mean, it was a great goal too. And then instead of doing the press conference and saying I'm retiring in front of the media, he just grabbed the mic and went to the supporter group and told them first.
Yeah.
Class act. So
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We will come back and we'll talk some Minnesota United. Back on the 55-1 podcast, we've got a little bit of news with that. Robin Lod was named to the MLS Team of the Week on the bench. And then you wanted to bring up this stat, Rodrigo. Tell me, hit me with the good stuff.
So trivia question down the line whenever anyone wants to use it. We've had 3 PK opportunities this season, and all of them have been taken by Argentinian. I think all 3 of them have ties to Boca Juniors at one point, right, Mark? Because Fragapane did.
He played like 2 matches for him, I think.
Yeah.
And
so.
2 of them were missed.
I mean, going back to that, we could say that Minnesota United this season are 100% on all of their PKs that are Panenkas and have made no PKs that are not Panenkas.
That's just,
so
those
there's
are
that
facts.
too.
Those are
those are just cold hard
facts.
facts right there.
Causation and correlation.
Okay.
All right, then we also have this stat from Andy Greeter, which is that the Loons record when Reynoso has contribution, meaning a goal or an assist, versus when he's not on the score sheet or doesn't play. When he scores or has an assist, in 2020 it was 7-1-1. In 2021 it's 8-2-2. Without him getting a goal or assist, it's 1-3-4 in 2020 and 5-9-7 in 2021. So a total of with him scoring is 15-3-3. That is wild. All right, let's talk about this game. It was the last game of the season. It was, Corey, you were at the game, so maybe give us some vibe check here.
I mean, it was a little weird from like the supporter group side of thing. Like, it wasn't like very clear where, tailgating was going to be or who was doing what. And, but still we had a really good showing in the supporter section. Apparently you could hear us a little bit on the broadcast from time to time. It was super weird weekend in LA, like overcast, cloudy, 60 degrees. We did not meet up with Ethan Finley's dad. I'd imagine that he was probably sitting in better seats than we had, but I don't know. I mean, I've never been to, was it Dignity Health Sports Park, Dignity Sports Health Park, Dignity Park
No dignity,
Health Sports.
No
dignity, no doubt. It was a cool space. It's like really wide open. It was their supporter groups were, on point, but it was a weird game to start. It kind of felt open. It kind of felt sloppy. It didn't feel like anybody had real clear-cut chances. But I mean, the vibe was cool. It was, we had good food, good beer, and we were hanging out. But yeah, I don't know.
So you were probably not aware of this, that Franco Fragapane in the graphics was listed as Kevin Fragapane.
Oh my God, get
I
out.
love that.
And I am told also was referred to as Kevin Fragapane by one of the commentators at some point.
Yeah.
So, which would have been just killer. So, throughout, the bar was very busy, and there were like many people calling him Kevin, and lots of people doing, whenever he would miss, you'd get the Home Alone Kevin. And then when he gets up at the end and is doing his penalty, there's just like the entire bar yelling Kevin, Kevin, Kevin. So Kevin did not have a great penalty. Franco would have had Fragapane take the penalty, to be honest. Franco Fragapane, that is.
Yeah, that's his alter ego when he takes off his Clark Kent glasses.
Yeah. So this match was an absolute shit show. Just like fed on Cheetos and Monster energy drink. Just
I was gonna say Mountain Dew Code Red, but
oh yeah, sure. Just bouncing off the walls. Just crazy. The good stuff happens in the first half when LA Galaxy have a corner. It gets cleared by Hassani to Unu, who sombreros the referee, to Metnier, who one-times it right up the field to Reynoso, who then backheels it to Metnier, who's running the fastest he's ever run in his life. Unu crosses his path and then moves out to the left. Metnier gets a perfectly timed pass to Unu, which was almost offside, and then Unu finishes at the far post. A superb counterattacking goal. We do not get those very often. And
was this Unu's best goal of the season?
Ooh, I don't know.
It was one of the best,
I would say
it was
so.
one of the best team goals of the season for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when it was while it was happening, I was like, after like the back heel and then the pass to Hunu, I was like, for the love of God, score, because this is going to be one of the most beautiful goals ever. Just score. And he did. And then, of course, it's outside. I started swearing at the TV a bunch, but then it all worked out.
Right, but I'm saying as the goals that we've seen him score, is this the best goal he scored this season? I would say yes. That would be my opinion.
I agree with you. 100%. I think it was a combination of all of the pieces that we've seen from him over the entire season, like really good runs, getting in good spots, calling for the ball. You pointed this out a lot, Rodrigo, the way that he wants the ball. It was fed to him and he finished beautifully.
Yeah. I love the finger waving that he did as soon as they were like, he's like, no.
Yeah.
Doing it with a French accent, in my head, he was just like,
No.
So then in the 34th minute, there's a corner, ball gets popped up. Boxy's like, you know what, I'm feeling this. I'm gonna ride this one in. Boxy's like, I'm gonna bicycle kick this. He like gets nudged by the other guy, kind of falls a little bit. The ball like gets popped over, it's going out wide, and then who's there? Johnny on the spot, Robin Lud at the far post, and he takes the ball on the outside of his left foot and just puts it right in the roof.
Oh God!
It was
from where we were. It did not look like it went in. Like half of us were, because we were up on the far corner, on the opposite side of the field, and we're just like, "What is happening?" We were like, "Oh, it's nothing," and then we're like, "Oh, it went in. That's good. That's good for us."
Yeah. We scored a goal.
Here's a question: If Boxy gets a bicycle kick, do you call it a Kiwi windmill?
A Kiwi windmill. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna try to top that. That's a great thing.
We need him to score a bicycle kick.
Here's the thing though. It's like he doesn't get enough credit because he's falling down and he's trying to attempt a half bicycle and ends up hitting it with his foot, he locks his ankle and he hits it specifically perfectly. That was I don't know, man. I'm just glad that Boxy got an assist and a really good assist on that.
It had some stank on it too.
Yep. Yeah. Some kiwi stank all over it.
which actually smells lovely.
Yeah. So then we're riding it into the half, and then look, it's the 45th minute, right before the half. Gasper is he's got the ball, he's playing with it, he's like not gonna pass, he's just gonna get caught up, and then the Galaxy get the ball, eviscerate the midfield, just completely just bypass it, because the midfield is like Will Trapp and then like the lost puppy Hassani Dotson. We'll talk more about him, but Hassani Dotson was terrible in this game. And then the ball gets out wide, and then the ball gets crossed in, and Leggett runs to the back post, completely unmolested by Chase Gasper. Yeah, unmolested. I want more molestation, Chase. Touch.
He's got the haircut for it.
Oh, you know what? That's baldy bigotry. I won't stand that on this podcast.
He's not. Yeah.
I will say Pedro Gasper did not show up.
No, he did not.
No.
It was, so we go into the half. We're 2-1 up. Well, let's just go through the rest of the goals, and then we'll do some analysis. But 51st minute, Metnier with an absolute garbage giveaway, just easily picked off in this long pass. Ball yet again gets like passed through the forward. It was like sewing, just like easily getting through everyone. And ball goes right to the forwards, pass back to the midfield, and then immediately outright. Frank Payne and Hassani are absolutely, utterly worthless. And Bob's your uncle. It's 2-2. So you could jump in at any point. Yeah, Rodrigo, you want to?
No, I was just gonna say. Do you remember when we played at home at SKC and we saw how Ozzy would become part of the defense when one of our left wings or our left backs or right backs would kind of stay up, and then kind of like fertilize that defense, that back line, and be able to connect passes that would lead into a forward attack. Like I saw Dotson trying to do that, but I would have preferred Will. Just having that same kind of mentality. Like I knew that Heath's plan was like, we are going to match their intensity. We are going to match their intensity the first 25, 30 minutes. And I'm like, why don't you just do what worked against Kansas City? Just have someone drop back, and then that way you can still keep it diverse in the aspect of how your attack is going to form, but you have someone who's a much better passer. Being able to try to connect passes.
I think the real problem is that Will Trapp was the only central midfielder we had. Hassani was just completely lost, all over the place, rarely tracking his men, and I'm amazed that Jan Gregush cannot get in this team. It is so bizarre to me that like you can't give him a swan song. I know we're often about on this team giving young players a way to get up, but Hassani has not been good this season. He's taken a step back, or maybe it's just that like the bangers aren't there to make up for the stuff. But we just had a one-man central midfield, and then we had like Hassani going on walkabout, and you can't do that like when you've got the game is that fast. And so 62nd minute, Reynoso starts a counterattack to Frank Payne, and then Frank crosses to Unu, who crosses again, and then Julian Araujo bizarrely puts the ball in the back of the net. I don't know what he was thinking he was doing, like passing back to the keeper or something, but the keeper wasn't there. It was weird. And there we go.
Yeah, because it wasn't even like, it didn't even like bounce off his body or anything. Like literally just like, it looked like he was like passing it in. I don't know what it was. It was
like some weird ass praying mantis move, like just like crow whatever or something. Just I don't know. It looked weird as hell right in front of us, but
he was doing the
still
crane
delightful.
I bet you the bookie was in the supporter group, and they were like, he needs to cover the spread. So they were like, we're going to take your whatever else we need to take from you, and then they were like, you need to do this, and there you go. I mean, cover the spread.
Then 75th minute, the ball's pinged around, ends up with Chicharito, who kicks it off Debasi's hand. Then as he is complaining about and calling for a penalty kick, he shoots again and scores. And I was convinced this game was going to end 5-4, guys. I was felt it. I predicted a 3-1 West Ham win over Liverpool, and was right. And I was feeling my premonitions, but nope, this one was wrong. It was a total shit show of a game. I'm glad that we came out of it, but it definitely gave me the impression that we are going to Portland and we could win 4-0 or we could lose 4-0, and both of them I'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly the way I think about this team. That is completely what I thought would happen. So
we can't forget about after the third LA Galaxy goal, we had the most pinnacle moment to just put this game away, which, Frank Payne gets the ball at the edge of the box, almost at the end line, just smashes it off a defender, handball, gets a PK. Reynoso takes the ball, gives it to Frank Payne, and he does this like bad Paul Pogba stutter step impression, trying to get the keeper to move in one direction, doesn't, and then he shanks it off the post, and it just
then laughs about it, right?
He laughed about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the end, it had no effect. If we had won or drawn, we finished the same. But yeah, it was such a stupid game. It was a lot of fun. It was good. It was one of the busiest watch parties, obviously, because it was such an important game. Busiest watch parties we've had in a long time, and it was just a lot of fun to be yelling with lots of grown people. So I guess I want to ask like a basic summary of this, which is if we have Ozzy, does that fix the problems here? Because Colorado. I'm less worried about Portland. Colorado is going to be a very tough team. We have Ozzy. Then do we feel good about this team? Let me do some vibe checks here now. Mark, how you feeling about this team?
Yes, but also it's going to be tricky because I believe I saw the schedule that we're going to be playing in Portland on Sunday the 21st.
Yep, 3:30 p.m.
And then we're going to be turning around, and if we win, we're going to be playing in Colorado the afternoon of the following Thursday for Thanksgiving. Which is not a very like the whole the bye week actually hurts someone because they get 3 weeks rest versus 2, and they're not going to be sharp. Like when you're coming off of 3 days of rest before playing another playoff match, that is not going to be easy. So I think that's going to be tough, especially if we're relying on Ozzy. He's coming off of a turf game on the road to an altitude game on the road in a 3 or 4 day turnaround. That's going to be tricky. So yeah, I don't mean to bring the vibe down, but it's I think we have, as far as favorability goes, I still think that playing in Portland and if we win playing in Colorado is better
playing
for
in
us.
Colorado, a team not well attended. I'm gonna guess what do you think the Thanksgiving crowd is gonna be like in Commerce City? 8,000?
Oh,
maybe it might be
tops,
like maybe at 12, but
it depends if it's not snowing in Colorado at that time either. So
yeah,
there's snow season is beginning. I'm sure all the ski lodges are beginning to get filled up, and that's it'd be cool to watch an Orange Bowl in a playoff game.
Rodrigo, what's your how are you feeling?
I think Portland for us is a good draw. I think if the team that showed up against SKC shows up, then I think we'll be successful, right? But I also think that if we go to Colorado, I'm pretty sure Colorado's already licking their lips and saying if we get Minnesota, we beat them with a man down. We tore them apart. We'll see what they'll be able to do. I mean,
Portland
I'm pretty sure has done a great job with the lowest paid
Yeah, Robin Fraser, who again, for years I was like, we need to hire Robin Fraser, and no one listens to me. Portland come into this with their having won their last 3 matches. Now, of course, those matches were against San Jose, Salt Lake, and Austin, and so that is 3 shitty teams. But I don't know. I'm feeling pretty confident about the Portland game. I would definitely be out there for that game if it wasn't my kid's birthday weekend that weekend. So
You could take them. It's a gift. You could say like, this is my gift to you, your father's happiness.
yep, yeah. You
Yeah.
guys stay in the hotel room. I'm gonna go.
Oh, no. You go by yourself.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how parenting works.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen
Corey-
to me, the guy with no kids.
Corey, how do you come out of this last game and looking forward? Are you worried by the fact that our midfield was completely non-existent, and even our just tactics were just go out there and run around?
I think it was LA hasn't been great this season. They've, since they dropped out of the top 4, they have been not great this season at all. And so I think I'm not too worried about what we looked like during this match, because it was make it an open game, grab it by the scruff of the neck, play Reynoso higher. And it's almost like we were playing like a 4-2-4, just Reynoso wasn't tracking back a ton and being the deep lying playmaker and combining with Will Trapp. That was fine for me. I do think if Ozzy is back in the lineup, we're going to see something closer to what we saw with Kansas City. I think it is going to be defensively more sound. I think Ozzy's going to have a chip on his shoulder from not being able to play in the LA game. Mm-hmm. It's also against his biggest rival throughout his career. And then, and I do think that our front 4 is starting to click. I think Nair had some really great moments in this last match. I think pulling Hassani Dotson out is going to be the right move, and going back to Will Trapp and Ozzy, which we did not particularly like at the beginning of the season. And we've mentioned it here, which is, our center backs, when they want to come out and be aggressive and play out of position and press, you need somebody to backtrack. And Ozzy knows the timing of that and how to do that. My biggest concern is exactly that, though, which is the vulnerability of our back line. Even though that they were pretty good, when they do step out, they tend to overstep and they tend to overcommit. And I do have some concerns about that against somebody like Portland. But if Ozzy's in and he's a stay-at-home 6, a little bit of a destroyer, and our attack is clicking the way that they were, as open and as messy as it was, and it's net positive. Colorado's a different story. We'll get there when we get there. We got to get through Portland first.
Yeah, Portland is going to be it's going to be fun because I think the team is the closest it's been to running on all its cylinders, and so we've got Fragapane looking good. Robin Lod is great. Reynoso looks fantastic. Unu, I still think there's another step up for him. Whether he'll make that, I'm not sure, but he's not looking bad right now, and he's scored a goal.
7 goals is not. It's not horrible. I mean, no. I remember in the broadcast there was a conversation that there's a website that gives you your expected goals per chances that you get, and that Unu was supposed to be at 10 goals, but 7 is not bad. I think I'd take the 7 for what we. But I think later in the middle of the season.
I think that there needs to be a step up there for him to keep doing that, because we don't have really big goal scoring attackers behind him. Robin Lod the exception, right? We don't, but Fragapane is not a big goal scorer. Reynoso is not a big goal scorer, and so you need your finisher to be doing that. And I think
Right.
that the defense is the two center backs have looked pretty good. Miller has not been great at the end of this season, but he made we definitely could have, this game could have been 5-4
Right.
in either way, right? Because the goalkeepers did a lot of work and a few close misses. But let's take a break. We've got some Twitter questions, and we'll close this mother out. All right, the final stretch of the 55-1 podcast. And Rodrigo, kick us off with a question here.
Okay. So knowing that we've only had 3 PKs taken by Argentinians who are associated with Boca Juniors, who would you rather take a PK that is not our foursome attackers?
Okay. I know if Hassani Dotson took it, it would be like a lightning bolt that would go out of the stadium. So I'm not going to go with him. I think Dibassi's probably really cool. I think he'd be calm and collected.
My answer was going to be Michael Boxall, and he would actually replicate the assist that he had in this LA Galaxy game, where he'll actually pop the ball up to himself and then bicycle kick it, or do the Kiwi windmill. That'll be his PK.
No, either Tyler Miller or Pedro. It has to be Pedro, not Chase. Pedro.
Yeah, but we lost Pedro a while. I don't know where he is.
He can come back.
He is on a boat in the Keys right now.
Just in Margaritaville.
He's just sipping Margs, and no, but like really, the answer to this,
shirt, right?
yeah, the answer to this is Ozzy though. Like right, like that. That's who you would have take a PK.
With me, actually, does Ethan Finley count as one of our
Yes,
foursome
he does.
attackers?
Yes,
He's
yeah. He's a fivesome.
Okay.
Johnny Grey Goose probably can also put a penalty away.
You put it right in the back, the break the back of the net.
So,
my vote was going to go to Michael Boxall, but just another tidbit, and I think when Fragapane was injured, right, and he was rolling on the sideline, I don't know if you remember that time, the camera pans towards him, and then there's this you see the back of a very big man who's wearing a number 13 Loons jersey. First thing that popped into my mind, that's Papa Finley. Because I don't know anybody else who in the stadium who would wear a Finley jersey, to be honest. And I think Papa Finley, I like to believe that Papa Finley got some TV time. So
I think Papa Finley wasn't he down at the field level? He might have been.
Yeah, that's how they get. When the camera rolled, it was like literally him rolling. They barely scroll up, and then there's a person.
There's Brent. There's our man.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to some questions here. Nick Schaub says, "What's your overall enthusiasm level for the playoffs? I can't get jazzed about it because they squeaked in, and the vibe of the team's COVID response this summer was a serious downer." Nick, I will say that I share a lot of those feelings, but for whatever reason, on this podcast, I've had a particular attitude about this team throughout the season, because what we're usually doing is like, is this team overall living up to our expectations? How does this game work into this arc of the season? Now that the arc of the season is done, I think I'm feeling different about it, which is that this team is stupid. Like, again, we will lose or win 4-0. I don't know. And part of that LA Galaxy helped. I'm just getting into this no tactics, just vibes thing, because it's dumb. You just enjoy it because it's going to be fun and weird, and probably we'll just get our hopes up and it'll be stupid and we'll lose. So I that's the way I'm feeling. I was pretty down. I was feeling pretty crappy at the end of this season, but now I'm like feeling it, and I'm gonna do some freaking Killers Human at every karaoke. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's that athletic article that we just like, we know that there's these underlying vibes of this team.
I think what we should do is I'll schedule karaoke for after the next playoff game, and every person needs to do Killer's Human.
And then we
2 hours straight.
And just live stream it straight to the team.
Yeah. Just destroy it. Nate Howells, why the fuck is Nashville in the West and Chicago in the East next year?
Because we, like Eric Miller and our favorite TV reporter, team
commentator, sideline reporter,
right? Silent reporter. We like Jamie Watson, but we just don't like we don't like Cabo. So yeah,
guys are just Colorado at this point.
And he's not going to be there next year anyway.
We did not talk about the weird or bad of that, which was like 7 players. It was reported for Chicago. 9 players were reported as being basically told you're not going to be back next year. Calvo was included, and then those players were like, okay, well, see ya, we're gone. And then that was kind of backtracked and it didn't happen. Calvo had to leave because of World Cup qualifier duty. But just absolutely fantastic. Calvo, if he ends up at FC Cincinnati, I'm going to get a Cincinnati Calvo jersey, 69.
What if he ends up in Atlanta, though? Would you?
Oh, he won't.
Atlanta?
No way.
Oh, they won't take him.
I don't know, guys. Don't. We want to put it up on the wall and wish it into existence, man.
Just
for the wrap up season, we should have like a wall and like things that we want to happen that we know may not happen.
Wish it into existence, man. I have no idea.
Here's what's gonna happen though. Bobby Shuttleworth was also released. Wherever Calvo goes, Bobby will become the backup keeper for that team as well.
Because Bobby Shuttleworth accidentally killed an albatross once while he was at sea. An albatross.
So wait. So both of them are just gonna play for Saprissa?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Go Bobby.
Bobby Shuttleworth is Calvo is the anchor that is tied to Bobby Shuttleworth's ankles.
Josh E says, which is Kevin Fragapane's greater sin, quitting on a play to convince the ref of a handball or that foxtrot penalty?
The fact that his middle name is not Rodrigo.
Oh, cool. Yep. That was an option.
Yep. Andrew Nelson says, what kind of dirt does Fernando Adi have on Adrian Heath?
That Adrian Heath actually really loves Franzia.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
I mean, in the Athletic article, they did not specify what box of wine they were drinking, so I think that theory has legs too.
At KCITTI, did Texas choose to secede from the playoffs, or was it forced upon them as an act of aggression by the North? I want to point out that the 2 states that did not make the playoffs are California and Texas. All the California teams and all the Texas teams did not make the playoffs in the West. Genius. Just amazing. So
I just want to state that finally the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo of 1848 was finally exercised to its fullest potential, and therefore Texas and California are back where they belong.
Yep. Thank you. Dan Sundquist says, if you're able to... Sorry, I did this dumbass.
That's the best fan. That's the best fanfic
solidarity fist, which was not audible for the podcast, and instead just looked like a total dipshit thing to do. Perfect. All right, Dan Sundquist. Changing modes here. If you're able to talk about it, what are the odds that Minnesota's new USLW team will have Allianz at some point at Allianz Field at home at some point in the future? We haven't talked about the USLW team in a little while. Again, MN Woso, you can become an investor. That ends December 6th, where the investment period ends. Okay. So I guess I'll say, it's totally, the odds are there. We've talked about with this club how there's definitely the decision we want to start small and do and kill at this small level, because that's what a community invested club can do. In order to do something like play at Allianz, we would have to be in a different league, and we would have to have, once that happens, you have to have serious backers in terms of money. But the whole point is to set lay down the groundwork of this is how a club like this can work, and this is what community owned soccer can be like, and then from there it's to the moon, right? We can grow that, and if investors are going to come in who are the big money people, then they're going to come in on those terms, and this is not going to be wait for Dr. Bill to put an NWSL team, which he doesn't. We
don't have to.
I respect that he doesn't really. That's not his thing, and we don't want these owners to just do them because of whatever. So I don't want to. I want to say that of not criticizing Dr. Bill. He's not particularly interested in doing an NWSL team, and eventually there should be one there. And I think that eventually we can get that, and that's the goal. But really, the first goal is make a club that no one else has really ever seen in women's soccer, which is a community-owned club that, 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk to the investors about our final branding ideas and present that to them. So if you are an investor, you can look at that. There's going to be an email coming out inviting you to a live stream where we present 3 final branding options, and then we vote on them. And I'm lucky enough to get to work with the designers, and oh my God, guys, it's good stuff.
You must be excited about that. I mean, the one thing I do see, and I've seen it happen, is perhaps it was a promotional event as a friendly between 2 cities to promote the game or the league. Then I can see that more being a thing that would happen more at Allianz between MN Warsaw and what other team. If they was marketed in that aspect, I think it totally has.
Hey, I would love to host the OL Reign in a friendly, right? Do something weird like that. Those are big things. Right now, everyone here is we're trying to get all these little logistics, and so I think thinking about crazy shit is my jam, right? So, but we want that. Women's professional soccer should be played at that stadium, and I don't think many people would disagree with that. So
right, and we've gotten the chance to see what high school girls soccer looks like in that stadium. And if we saw that and how much that brought out on literally no advertising and no promotion. Yeah. And I can't wait till we see more of that, but we also we see what we can do with women's soccer.
Yeah. So thanks for asking about that, Dan. DEC says, can teams practice during international break, and what players from Minnesota and Portland will be playing for their national teams during the break? So they definitely will be practicing during this. How many players are we losing? We're losing
Lud,
Metner, and Boxall, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's great. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, keep sending Unu, Reynoso, and Fragapane. Give them some shrooms, send them on a spirit quest, and get them to bond, and put them in a sweat lodge, and then they'll come out of this and they'll be playing as one.
I think they should all get weed infused cookies and be sent out to some sort of open land to go look at stars or look for comets, and all of a sudden just infuse themselves with all these cookies and gorge themselves out, and then just have the biggest trip in the world.
Yeah, man. I don't do drugs, and I totally condone this. Yes.
Although if you do a sweat lodge, that is close enough to a sauna where Lude is going to be pissed that he's left out.
Yeah, that's
Look,
true.
we're not going to be appropriating in indigenous folks ceremonies. So let's just go ahead with the weed and the outside and the stars. Okay.
Okay. I can dig that. We've agreed. All right. I think we've nailed something here. The rest of the question I'm just going to ignore. Chad Sapita says, on a scale from 1 to 10, tell me your Heath In level now and your Heath In level after he comes to sing the Beatles at the Black Heart. I mean, I guess there's the multiple answers. The serious answer is if that dude showed up at the bar and sang karaoke, I would legit revise all my concepts of him, because he's just like he's I don't know, he's like an absentee dad, like just he just blames me for things or something. I don't know. He doesn't show up at events, never talks to you. Maybe he'll send he'll call for your birthday a little. It's like a Phoebe Bridgers song or something.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
The second that you started saying no tactics, just vibes, I think I understand Adrian Heath a little bit more now. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm like, I get it. And I'm more okay with what happens.
I want Dark Clouds to create a No Tactics Just Vibes t-shirt that I will.
Oh God, if there's
Can we have Red Loons create that? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
Red Loons will do it. I mean, but the problem is we take forever.
Oh
to
man!
do
And
it.
can it also like on the neckline? Can it have like a puka shell necklace on the neckline of the t-shirt?
Oh my God. Wait, this is just turning into like
it's just
Dave
a
Matthews
picture of
fanboy.
Adrian Heath drinking from like a Mai Tai. Drinking a Mai Tai.
Just put Heath's face on Jimmy Buffett's body and call it a day.
Okay, Mark, what Taylor Swift song do you see Adrian Heath singing?
Taylor Swift.
I don't see him saying.
No, you pick one. Pick one. Just pick one.
It's the Romeo Juliet song.
I only know
Love
Shake
Story.
It Off.
No, he's
It's
not going
Love
to do
Story.
Love. I mean, it should be Love Story, but he wouldn't do Love Story. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like it's no, it's not Taylor Swift one. It's gotta be a bad Elton, like a really like one of like a bad Elton John song, like not like a well-known one, just a
Elton John
bad
song.
B-side.
You're all wrong. It's Lisa Loeb's You'll Say.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you're
God.
right. You are right.
So, all right, let's go to Lee says, this was when I was asking for karaoke requests for Adrian Heath. He says it's Substitute by The Who. Also, he wants to, and that is the perfect answer here. Mark, do you have a suggestion? Oh no, you have it for this other part of the question.
Yeah.
Better Portland indie band, Blitzen Trapper, The Thermals, or Wipers? I actually don't know Wipers at all.
No. Also, I mean, for one, he didn't even include Dandy Warhols, so it's not even a serious question to begin with.
Okay.
But I mean, the obvious answer is it's Everclear. It's always Everclear as far as Portland bands go.
Yeah. Doon, 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 doon. So Elliot
Speaking
Smith
of
is
daddy
my favorite.
issues, Jesus.
I gotta say,
I know no Everclear song.
yeah. Oh, you do.
Oh,
You
do.
totally do. They've had to have toured with the Gin Blossoms.
Doon, 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 down, 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 down the West Coast. Doon, doon. Anyway, that's it. You know it.
Yeah.
All right. Paolo says, what Beatles era song does Heath sing? Wrong answers only. I can see the little piggies hanging. Anyway, that's what I think.
I mean, I would love to see Adrian Heath do I Am the Walrus.
Oh,
I feel like
Great
Heath,
answer.
I mean, that's probably a right answer, so it doesn't count for this question. But yeah, I would love to see that.
I feel like Heath just has like a goblet of Merlot and sings "She's So Heavy."
oh, that's good too. So Tyler Miller is a completely the Killer's human guy, right? Like I could see him doing that 3 times a night, and everyone would be like,
Okay.
Tyler. Like we need to bring in Dane St. Clair needs to start because this guy won't leave the Killers alone. But
I feel like there's opening karaoke Tyler Miller. There's like 3 drink killer Tyler Miller, and then there's just end of the night. He's the only person in the hotel banquet room singing that song.
I mean, here's the thing with Tyler Miller. I feel like this is a cross marketing just like opportunity for him, because didn't he like do something with Shells? Like, did he sign up to be like a brand spokesman for Shells? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was premium, wasn't it?
was it Premium or Shells?
They had to
You have to
They had
remove
to-
that though.
Either
Yeah.
way, like premium, whatever. Shell's Deer brand, whatever. I would love to see Tyler Miller 6 deep with either of those beers and just belting it out.
Okay, which how many members in the Backstreet Boys do we have? Is it 4 or 5? I can't remember.
5. Oh.
Okay,
There's five.
which 5 Minnesota United players do you see them getting down in a Backstreet Boys song together to sing?
Ethan
Boxel?
Finley. Ethan
No,
Finley.
Dan Sinclair is
Finley.
always number 1.
Oh yeah. Dan
Yeah, but
Sinclair.
he's more in sync because he's got the ramen noodle hair. But we'll
great
suspend
point.
disbelief for a minute. But Dane St. Clair, I think Michael Boxell is the oldest one, right? Like he's like the Kevin
He's
of the
like the
Backstreet
deep bass
Boys.
guy.
Wait,
He's
what
a
about
deep bass-
Ozzy?
What now?
Instead
Ozzy's
of Boxer
got
for
like
the old guy.
Hassani.
Okay, Hassani. So far, just to recap, we have Boxel, Dane, Hassani,
Oh,
we have an
Tommy
Ozzy?
Chacon.
Nico
Tommy
Hansen.
Chacon.
Nico Hansen.
Thomas Chacon.
yeah. You have to have Nico Hansen.
Yeah.
Nico and Tommy. And Tommy Chacon.
Chacon. Yeah. God.
There you go. There you got your 5.
I think it would be Ethan Finley, just like your straight white guy who's just like happy to be there.
What about Fred
But
Emmings?
I think Ethan.
Oh my god!
There's no one straighter and whiter than Greg.
and he does like the super dense gel and flicks.
DJ
that
Taylor,
has, like,
guys.
yeah, DJ Taylor's like with the. Oh my god,
we're about
he's
to
the
get like
he's the
L7
biggest.
here. Now we're just gonna make this band big.
It's just the what was Robbie Williams' band? Take 5, Take That,
Take that.
all
yeah.
that. That was a Nickelodeon show. It's all fine.
Great
Okay,
show.
I have no idea where we're
Good show,
on
guys.
this podcast. All right, this is final thing. Christian Fitchett says, just a comment. I'd be willing to pay a decent sized sum of money to see Adrian Heath's interpretation of Tiny Dancer. Again, if Adrian Heath cared about charity, if he cared about the poor children, he would come to Black Heart of St. Paul, and I would put $500 down on the table if he sang Tiny Dancer at the bar.
Oh yeah, I mean
So-
this could be the Dark Clouds like end of season charity thing.
Yeah. If he, like, we don't even have to do, we will do one karaoke song. It will just be him. And if he did that, I'm pretty sure we could raise $10,000.
Okay.
I bet we
Sounds
could.
like a fundraiser.
Okay.
Though Christian Fitchett was not present at the Halloween private party we had at the Black Heart, and where apparently I sung a Backstreet Boys song, a Selena song, and a Mexican song, well known, called Volver, and I have zero recollection of how I got home.
What's amazing about we have that was a private party doing karaoke on a Saturday. We've got a few, including our friend Ian, who's been on this podcast, doing private parties in December. And what I love about it is because there's a lot of like people who come to the bar for soccer, and they're totally, it's like they love it, and then they do this party and they invite all these people who are like 43 years old, 52 years old, and they're like, how did you hear about this bar? What's and it is so great. It is just amazing because that night there was a weird ass drag show going out front.
Yes.
It was Tiff Dynamite was doing this variety show for Halloween, and it was very weird.
There's a point at this private party where like the karaoke, like people do karaoke, and all of a sudden people look around the crowd, and like 65% of the crowd is missing, and
Yeah.
we're like, "Where's everyone else out?" And so like, and everyone was out there watching the drag.
So
It was awesome.
anyway, if you want to bring all your normie friends to a queer soccer bar for an experience and trick them, we're here for you, folks. Just email me. All right, that's the end of our podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this really stupid podcast. It's very fun to do. Thanks, Corey, Mark, Rodrigo, Marco, Rodrigo, Shrepo.
Why do I sound like the opening act for Gallagher?
Shrepo. Yes, right. Yeah, you're the guy
You're the
that
guy
holds
holding the
the
watermelon at the end of the show.
exactly.
Have you the dads of this podcast? Have you watched Little Lunch? Do you know what this is?
No.
It's an Australian kids show. It's probably one of my favorites that my kids
Better
have
than
watched.
Bluey.
Why is everything Bluey to you, man? Anyway, it's a live
Have you
action
not watched
show.
Bluey?
It's a live action show with these kids, and
Oh,
there's
live
this
action.
kid who has this weird Scottish accent. He's an immigrant, and he has this character he plays of Stretcho, and it's like this weird costume he wears with the guy whose arm stretches, and he like. Anyway, so Shrepo is Stretcho to me. Go watch Little Lunch. All the folks out there. I think if you just Google Little Lunch Australian TV show, the Australian government website will just let you watch it on a whatever. It's no longer streaming on Amazon or whatever for free. But Little Lunch, it's up there with Investigators for a best Australian kids show. So.
You should watch Maya and the Three if you haven't got a chance to. If you like the Book of Life, Maya and the Three.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Go be happy, be awesome. You're beautiful, you're sexy, and everyone loves you.